Well, hello there, team of legends. Hope you've had a nice weekend. So we're going to get a wee bit more into the technical stuff today, guys, right? So this is a wee video on the meal planning sort of tracking stuff. So as I mentioned, there's two ways that you can track, really. You can either just go with sort of eyeballing portion control, or you can actually use some sort of calorie counter. And there's, like, I don't want to say pros and cons of each of them, because what some people might see as a pro, other people might see as a con, and so on. So what I'll do is just do a wee kind of rundown of what benefits come with ones or whatever, and you can have a wee think about what you want to do. I'll try not rabbit on too long, guys, so if I do go a wee bit long, just break the video down in a couple of days, and ask us, send us any questions as you do it if you need help with anything. Right, so for me personally, right, I'm not a big calorie counter. Kirsty really loves calorie counting. I like to do more just portion control. The benefit of that for me is I've been doing this long enough that from most foods I can pretty much tell what's in it anyway. And that's one of the first things that I'll put down as a sort of pro, is if you've got the knowledge of what like protein and carbs and fats are, it's much easier to just use portion control. And what you do, guys, is just use your hand, right? So like a big fist of protein, handful of carbs, loads of veg. It's dead easy, and a wee thumb of fat. Right, but until you get to know there, it can be a wee bit harder to do. But for me, even if you're calorie counting and you really like it, for me, everybody's goal should be to get eventually from calorie counting into portion control. The reason for that, guys, is the calorie counting to me isn't a long-term solution. It's not something that you want to be doing for the rest of your life, is it? Every single thing that you eat, you need to track it and write it down. So for me, the biggest benefit or the portion control side of it is just, it's a lot less hassle, a lot less stress, a lot less time footering about with everything. And I feel as though that's what everybody should want to get to eventually. But it's just going to take a lot longer for some people than others, depending on your current knowledge. The con of that side is there again, guys, that you need to kind of have a wee bit of understanding of what you should be having on your plate, how that's going to look just by eyeballing it, which can take some time. And with this, you really need to be super honest with yourself about what you're having. So if you're having, you know, your pasta, rice, chips, whatever it might be, you have to be honest with yourself about how much you're actually having. Is it a wee handful I'm having, or is it 3 handfuls but I'm only putting it in as one? Like Lynn's comment this morning about granola, like one serving, put that on and it looks like a wee baby's portion. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But then you end up having 3 because that looks like it's an actual real one. Whereas if you're tracking the calories, you can adjust it to an exact amount. You can say, right, I'm going to have 50 grams of protein, carbs in here. I'm going to track it. That's X amount of calories. Or I can have a wee bit more because I've got the calories left. Whereas if you're just sort of eyeballing it and throwing it on, it can be a wee bit different. So with this sort of portion control as well, guys, it's not just a case of just throw everything on the plate. You're still going to be looking at what you're eating and saying, right, that's 100 grams of protein I'm putting into cook, and you're going to know what that is, and like with your pasta and everything as well. But you're just not going through the process of putting everything into a tracker. That's the bit that really puts me off it. Even though a lot of the time you're just having the same stuff, it's just getting back in and footing about the same stuff. And you really need to be honest with yourself when you're doing the calorie count as well, because you have to put in the butter you put in your bread. You have to put in, you know, any sauces that you're putting on. You have to put in the right amount of butter if you're putting butter on it. If you're having chips, you need to have the right amount that you're putting on it. Can't it just be, that's 100 grams of chips, when in reality it's 200, because then you're not going to get anywhere. However, one of the biggest bonuses for me about the actual calorie counting is having a set target that you know that you're aiming for every day. You know how much protein you're needing to hit, and you know how much calories you're needing to hit, and you can adjust your food accordingly, and you've got a wee representation of what it is. I've got 600 calories left and I need another 50 grams of protein. So then you start to educate yourself on different foods. What foods have got protein in it? You pop it into, say, MyFitnessPal is probably the most common one. You pop in whatever food it might be and you're like, oh no, that's only got 10 grams of protein. That's not enough. I need to find something else, or I need to have more of it. Or you might put foods in that you think are alright. This is the most common one I get when people start calorie counting. Oh, I've been having so-and-so for months, and then I put it in MyFitnessPal and it's half my calories for the day, and you're like, aye. That's the education part. When you're tracking your food using like MyFitnessPal, you start to get a wee idea of, when you put a food in, does your carbs go up? Does your fats go up? Does your protein go up? Right, that's a proteiny food, that's a fatty food, that's a carby food, and it gives you a better understanding of what you're doing. But again, the cons of that, guys, is just the hassle of it. The time commitment. It's not a massive time commitment, but it all adds up to just, if you can't be arsed, and you have to commit to it, and you have to do it for every meal and every snack and everything you have. You can't just go, oh, I've put my dinner in, but I'm not putting my lunch in, I'm not putting my breakfast in because I can't be arsed. Just completely pointless. And it can't be, oh, I've done it Monday to Friday, I'm not going to do it every weekend. You have to stick to this commitment. But again, another benefit from the calorie counting side, guys, is you can experiment more with your food. You can make like a lasagna, or you could make, I don't know, cottage pie, whatever food you like. Pizzas, I don't know. What do people eat? I forgot any food. All I do is talk about food all day long, and I've just forgot about every food ever created. We'll go with pizza. But you can make like pizzas fit into your plan. Whereas if you're just sort of, well, lasagna's a good one. Like, you see all these different lasagna recipes, and some of them can be quite calorie controlled, but it's quite hard to get them decently calorie controlled and balanced. So if you're calorie counting and you get a wee, say you just decide, oh, I'm going to buy that wee Weight Watchers lasagna, and then you whip it into your MyFitnessPal, and it's 600-700 calories and it's hardly any protein, and you've just wasted half your day's eating. Whereas if you're making it yourself, you can start to footer about with the ingredients to make it actually fit into your diet. And if you were just having that, you know, you weren't tracking it, and you had that same 600-700 calorie lasagna, but you maybe don't think it's that much because it's only tiny, and then you're having chips with it, but you think you're only having 100 grams of chips when really you're having 200, and the next thing you know, you're at 1,000 calories and you've only had one wee snidey meal. So let's say there's these benefits to both sides of it. Now, if you're brand new to sort of, not brand new to losing weight, but tracking food especially, I would recommend everybody does a wee bit of calorie counting, tracking through like MyFitnessPal and that. Even if you're not necessarily trying to lose the weight or use it to lose weight, it just gives you a good idea of what foods are in. So just spend a wee day or two every now and again looking at what you're eating, beating it in, and then it's a good educational tool to see, right, again, that's protein. But for me personally, the constant calorie counting doesn't work for me. I can do it for a week or two, and then I just resort going back to sort of eyeballing it, because again, I don't want to have to be counting the calories for the rest of my life. But I'm in a probably more privileged position in that sense, that I've been doing this long enough. I know what carbs are in certain foods, what's a fat, where will I get fats, where can I get my protein much easier. So as you sort of educate yourself and get into that, then it's much easier to get the to eyeball it and sort of do the portion control. So again, guys, the portion control side of it is super easy, right? It's really, really easy. It's just grab a bit of protein, fish, chicken, beef, eggs, or whatever, and have it like the size of your palm. Just what you could hold in your palm, which is usually a bit of chicken breast anyway. And then if you were having pasta, just grab a handful of pasta, boop, rice, boop, chips, boop, whatever. And then veg, have as much veg as you want. But the reason this works, guys, is everybody's hands are different compared to their size. Alright, so if you've got big massive hands, chances are you've got a big massive body. If you've got wee tiny hands, chances are you've got a wee tiny body. So it suits your body. So you having a honfy isn't got to be the same as the next person having a honfy. It's going to sort of level itself out. And this was one of the first things I learned years ago. One of the probably still the best nutrition course I've done. And this is just kind of the sentiment years ago. You don't want to be tracking everything meticulously every day. But when you start out, it is really good. And don't get me wrong, I get much better results when I do track. When I set myself a calorie limit and I stick to it for a few weeks, I do see better results because it is more accurate. It's just no better as a sort of long-term plan. So that's what you've got to think of, guys. Your decision today really is, do you want to go through the hassle of counting calories? If you do, if you already know your calories and you're happy with it, batter away. If you need help working out how many calories you should be eating, throw myself a message, Kirsty a message, whatever. If you want to do, if you're going to just do the portion control, just make sure you know enough about the foods that you're eating, that you're still getting enough protein, you're having your carbs, you're getting your fats in without starving yourself. And what I will say about the calorie counting, guys, is don't be eating 1200 calories a day. Nobody should really be eating 1200 calories a day. Everybody should be eating more than that. So everybody's body needs a certain amount of calories every day, right? Think of your calories each day as the money you earn, like your job. So just for talking sake, you make £1,000 in a month, right? If you want to save for a holiday and you're trying to save, say, I want to save £200 a month, right? So you're like, right, I can only spend £800, but your bills come to £850. You can't then save £200, otherwise you're going to go into debt, you're going to stop buying stuff that you need to buy. Your human body's like that. You've got a set amount of calories that you need every single day. So say it's 1600 and you're burning then 2000, you're eating 2000 calories. You need to make sure that you don't drop below that 1600, because that's the 1600 that the body needs to function. And if you drop below that, the body starts slowing down processes that is required for good health. It starts switching off processes, and that's how eventually people start getting ill when they're eating too little for them. The first thing goes is your muscle mass. It starts getting rid of all your muscle mass because you're not eating enough. So the same as if you were saving money, you need to work out how much you're making, how much you're spending, and where in between you can save, the amount in between that you can save without getting into debt and without overspending. And it's just the same with your calories now. The only difference is it's really hard to work out the exact amount that you're burning and the exact amount that you're consuming. So it's always going to be a wee bit inaccurate. That's why if we give you a sort of number, or you've tried a number before and you don't find it's working, you can adjust it, but just never go below your BMR. And if any of you want to work out your BMR, just do a wee comment in the group. I'll put a wee calculator in. You can work out your BMR, and what that is that's the minimum amount that you should be eating, the absolute minimum that you should be eating every single day. All right, so if it comes out at 1600, don't drop your calories any lower than 1600 ever. All right, so this isn't a wee Rossatron talking. This is the big scientists in the world. All right, so I just listen to them. I read all the nonsense that they put out so that you don't have to. That's how I spend my days. Woo. So never drop your calories too low. It's also, not only is it not good for you health-wise, it's not good for you mentally. Have you ever tried to eat 1200 calories a day and then you see how little food that is? Nobody's going to be happy eating that. So some of you have probably tried that before, when you should be eating about 1800, and then you'll start eating 1800 and you'll feel as if it's too much. But what you'll also find is you can eat a lot better foods, which means it's a lot easier to stick to the plan because you're eating more, you can fit your weight. This is I missed this out actually, but this is a really important part if you're calorie counting, alright? If you're calorie counting, it means you can have a wee chocolate biscuit, or a wee packet of crisps, or a wee cake, or whatever, and you just put it into MyFitnessPal and it tracks it for you, alright? And at the end of the day, if you've got 300 calories left, you've hit your protein, you've had your free meals, you've done whatever, you can have a wee biscuit and you can be completely guilt-free about it, right? But if you're not tracking your calories, people tend to have a wee biscuit or something and then think they've ruined their life when they've not, right? And I always say this to everybody. At the end of the day, if you eat a wee biscuit or something and it's 100 calories and it's ruining your day, it's not the wee biscuit you need to worry about, it's what you've been doing the rest of the day. So you should be able to fit in all your food throughout the day and still have room for a wee treat. Not necessarily you've got to want to do it every night, but it shouldn't ruin your full day. Alright guys, so for the rest of this week, we're going to focus on stuff like this, just getting you set up, getting you tracking, getting you on the right plan, and then for there guys, let's see, we don't give you an exact, here's a meal plan, going follow this, that just does not work at all. That's the least workable thing ever. But what we can do is look at what you're eating, find out where you're maybe gone wrong and make wee adjustments to that, rather than overhauling the full shing, right? So just keep doing what you're doing guys, work out if you're going to be calorie counting, if you're just got to do portion control, let us know in the group. If you need calories worked out, we'll do that. If you've got to do portion control, we can help you a wee bit with that. And the rest of the week we'll get sort of recipes and other stuff relating to this for next week. And then next week what we'll do is start the education on your macronutrients, on your protein, your carbs and your fats. Alright guys, have a nice day, we'll see you later.